Dresses hanging in the wind tonight, silent witnesses to stories untold. Sisters, mothers, daughters out of sight, their voices echo, brave and bold. Every face upon the missing wall has a name, a dream, a beating heart. We won't let their memory fall. Each one precious from the start. They matter, every single soul. They matter, we won't let go. Stand up, speak out, don't turn away. Search for justice every day. They matter, and we'll never stop the fight. They matter, every single soul. They matter, we won't let go. Stand up, speak out, don't turn away. Search for justice every day. They matter, and we'll never stop the fight. Indigenous people, strong and free, women, men, and children too. Your lives have meaning, you belong. We hear your voices call. All lives matter in this sacred space. Every soul within our human race. True seekers, junkies, unite. We are family, we'll make this right. We will stand up and join the fight. Fight on! They matter, every single soul. They matter, we won't let go. Stand together, search as one, until every case is done. They matter, and love will light the way. Red dresses dancing in the light, reminding us to never give up the fight. We all matter, we all matter, we all matter. One human family, standing together. Red dresses dancing in the light, reminding us to never give up the fight. We all matter, we all matter, we all matter. One human family, standing together.
Hey, Pammy, can you hear me? Well, I'm coming through on the YouTube feed, so okay. All right. Well, here we go. Well, you've been on the air. It's Trial Junkies United with your host, Z.
Yay. You were just a little, slow today. It's okay. We like it that way. Well, I'm so glad to see everybody. I'm sorry I'm a little discombobulated, but hey, what's new, my loves? Tonight, we're going to have a special guest, but first, I want to talk to my lovely truth seekers and justice warriors. I'm your storyteller Z in this wilderness of injustice. My ride or die Doc is riding shotgun as we navigate the system that fails. We're ready to shine the light on that forgotten stories that society would rather have us leave buried. So buckle up. Our path ahead grows bumpy as we lead you through another section of the nightmare they call our justice system. Now tonight, Lissa was going to be with us, but she didn't make it. But she sent someone very special, and this is going to be a new friend of ours. This is Ciska. No, I said that wrong, didn't I?
Ciska.
Ciska.
Ciska. I am
Ciska.
so sorry. Ciska?
No.
No.
Ciska.
Ciska.
Ciska. Ugh.
Yes. Cisco Tobacco.
Trust me, they're all laughing at me. They know I can't pronounce anything without Doc helping me out all the time. But Ciska is from South Dakota, and she is the South Dakota Lissa. So this is going to be fun, you guys. We're going to get some more information on what it's like to be an advocate in some sad things, you know. But this is important work. Pammy said it's nice to meet you, Ciska.
Thank
Um,
you
the chat
for
saying
having me.
hello. So first of all, um, why don't you just give us a brief about your background and how you got in with Lissa and in with the MMIP?
Okay, so I had started my own search and recovery. But I began to start with in my investigation for my auntie who was murdered in Ogalala, South Dakota.
Oh, I'm so
And
sorry.
I started out with that, and I noticed that there's a lot more other cases that are in our reservation. So I just, started talking with the families, finding out more and more, and finding out that it's all kind of complicated with the reservation and the city and, the state, how the cases can't just be combined and everybody come together and help each other because of the red tape everywhere.
It's kind of like
So I just figured,
playing jurisdictional, polo.
yeah. So then I just started to do my own investigation, talking to people and looking for people, going door to door. And then I met up with Lissa on a search for Susan Fast Eagle, Chief Eagle. She was on that search.
Okay.
And that's where we met. I started to talk with her, and I realized that she's been doing this a very long time. And I wanted to learn everything that she was doing, because she was on top of everything and knew how to handle people and how to handle situations real fast, And I wanted to be able to have those same skills that she does. And she had her dogs also. So I just was kind of like her student while she was here for those couple of weeks, and just
Yeah.
followed her around and took note of everything.
I think we'd all like to follow Lissa around. She
Yeah.
she does she's been, like you said, she's been doing it for a long time. So that was kind of a really cool privilege to be able to gain some of that knowledge.
Yeah.
Um, but your advocacy goes beside that because you actually even go into the court, right?
Yes.
'Cause
So, I mean, I realized that it's not just with the MMIW, it's also with people that are going to court and don't have anybody to stand up for them and speak for them in the courtrooms. So I kind of got involved with that, and I started reading law books and stuff and finding out what is the right and the wrong of how to be handled in the courtroom. and I started speaking up for people to the state and to the, the victim services that they have. They are the ones that are supposed to be advocating for the families, but it doesn't seem like they really know how to handle um, like Lakota people. And, because we have different backgrounds
Right.
so they don't know how to handle the situation or what they're going through, and like our traditional ways of handling everything, and how we pray before each court, how we pray after.
And that would really be important when you think about it, because there is a cultural difference. So if they have no clue, the people that are going to court really need an advocate to explain things
Yes.
so that they're understood. Doc, you can go ahead and show some of the photos.
Okay.
But because I saw a photo of you on your Facebook page when you had gone into court.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really admirable. So I see you're getting into a bigger picture. It's not just looking for the missing and the murdered, but it's also what can you do for the tribe when they have to just even face the court system.
Yeah.
That's really incredible. Because like we talked with Lissa last week, that I found fascinating was everybody has their own advocacy work. Everybody does it a little different. I had talked to Cola Shippentower, um, and with her advocacy work, she does a lot of like like preparing before someone disappears. I don't know if you have seen her worksheets that she does where you get information on your loved ones, and it's really she has worksheets and a link to the site that she has that someone can write down like all of their devices and put the passwords so that if something does happen, you can get into their devices,
Yeah.
and that would be helpful.
Yeah. Because
Y-
otherwise, the process of getting into somebody's phone after they gone missing is like at least up to 2 weeks or even more.
and that's even if you can get them to look for you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because we had a case in Fort Worth, Texas, where the detective will not get a search warrant to even look at the devices
Yeah.
for a missing 17-year-old. And that just breaks my heart because he's trying to say that she's an adult, and it's like, no, she's a junior in high school. She is not an adult by any means. All the devices are in her mother's name, and her mother gave you permission,
Yes.
but of course they're being jerks.
Yeah, it's a lot of it also depends like on how they went missing, if this is something that they've done in the past. So I always tell the families, like, whenever your teenager goes missing, important thing to say is that this is not like them at all. This
Right.
is not normal. I mean, even though they might have done it in the past, but I really suggest that you don't mention that, because then once you do, and you say, yes, she ran away, she's a runaway, then it's automatically as, okay, well, she'll be back. It's not urgent, and you want it to be urgent. So
Yeah.
you want them to immediately like let them know, like, this is not normal. You
Yeah.
need to get out there and look for her.
The police put a label on it immediately when you say something like that.
Yeah.
And that's a good point. Because I know um, I'm hearing background noise.
Sorry, I'm in a bookstore.
Oh,
Okay. I didn't think Doc was watching something, but
yeah, well,
you had to
Yeah.
make sure.
there's this really important game on, no, it's just
You better watch out. William's in the chat. He'll know what game it is. He's our sports guy. But yeah, that's true because sadly, if you even mention something about perhaps someone, you know, thinking that they had run before, then that just gives them an excuse not to do their job.
Yeah, it's
You know,
important not to mention that. And also, there's there's a history. Like if they have a history of doing this before, I mean, and then the other part that's really important is if you think your kid could possibly hurt themselves. If you know for a fact that your kid has done that in the past, you got to mention that, because that's another key thing where they put it on the media right away, is if your kid had attempted suicide before. And
yeah,
if they have, then you have to let the police know that, because then that's more immediate to them to, okay, well, we need to get this on our Facebooks, our Twitter, YouTube, or whatever they're sharing it on the news.
It's a little more urgent to them than
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
well, I'm gonna I'll send you the worksheets that Cola did. I think you might think, find them useful maybe, and help some of the people, if they can do some pre stuff, because she said everybody, there's so much work that gets done sadly when someone goes missing, but what can we do beforehand to kind of help? She also does self defense, but I mean, Cole is an interesting person. I just absolutely adored her because she was an MMA fighter, and
yeah,
also she plays football, women's
nice.
football. So she's got that background that she was able to utilize. Not all of us have that kind of background, so we have to
Yeah,
use what we have, And I think I'm sorry that your aunt is the one that kind of got you going in this because of her loss, but
yeah,
um, that
thank
had to
you.
be, it gave you at least something to work with, that you knew what was going on, and how to just start asking questions,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
sadly the police sometimes won't do anything.
yeah. They I found out this new thing where they have to wait 72 hours for an adult if they've gone missing. And within that 72 hours, there's nothing that's being done
Now, who said
whenever,
that? Because
Yeah.
that's not true.
I've never heard that. I've never found that to be true.
yeah, that's here in Rapid City. Recently, like I would say 2 months ago, there was a case that the family had reached out to me, that her sister was missing. Her sister's 28 years old. And she had called the police, my sister's missing. I want to make missing person report. The police had said, sorry, like maybe she's just out. She's at a party or something. She'll be back. We can't do a report for at least 72 hours.
I think they were
So,
lying to
I
her,
I I think
because
so.
there is no waiting period.
No.
Um,
yeah,
I,
they said that they recently just started that
I
here in Rapid City.
I would ask him, show me the law.
Yeah.
Show me the law.
That would have to be a law, I would think.
Yeah, because I just looked it up, and it said that there is nothing in, if your
Yeah.
report of a missing
And
person
this
is
was the eighth day that I was contacting him. I said, well, the 72-hour period has passed now. It's been 8 days. And the whole family, she had 8 siblings and a father that she kept in contact, daily. Somebody had heard from her, and she always stayed with somebody. So it was like, there's no way that
So after 8 days, they were still doing nothing.
after 8 days, and after I finally called them and I was complaining to them, then they finally said, okay, well, we'll get out to her house.
ugh, you
Eight,
know what?
And
eight
they
days
got out
later.
there and they took the report.
Wow.
I think that's I think that's something, as a group of us, here on our channel, to respectfully, because I'm always telling you guys, you got to be respectful. Don't be ugly. I will get some emails to the police department we're going to ask them that we're and we'll write it as concerned citizens. We'll send it out in email form that we're concerned. Why are people being told they have to wait 72 hours?
Yeah.
And if that is true, we want to know where it is documented. So we'll do. There's
Oh,
Lissa.
Lissa. Hold on. Let me see if I can get you. Let me
We'll
see if I
take
can
you
get you
anywhere
in
we can
here.
get you, darling. But no, Ciska was telling us that they're in Rapid City.
Ciska. Ciska.
She's gonna hate me. I cannot get it in my brain. Hey, it took me a while to get Lissa right. I just Lissa knows. She knows my tongue does not work the way it's supposed to. Doc's the one that usually has to interpret for me. But she was telling us recently she was told by someone that called to report their relative missing in Rapid City that they had a new thing saying you couldn't do it for 72 hours.
That's not true.
And,
I mean,
and that's what I'm saying.
a lot of
I think
departments,
they just
a lot of departments believe that from Hollywood, and it's not even a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I told her that we're going to, as a group here, I will find an email for the chief of police. I might throw the mayor in there too and ask him what this thing is about them telling people they can't report, because we need to know.
Yeah.
If that's what they're saying, we need to know, and we need the proof, we need the facts, because they always say that the first 24 to 48 hours are the most important. Well, if you tell someone not to even bother, I mean, come on. That's horrendous. I can't believe they did that to that family.
Yeah.
That breaks my heart. But this is terrible. We'll do that as a group. I will look for the email addresses for those people, and like I said, we will do it respectfully. Well, Chris, if we can find other email addresses, but like I said, we always do it respectfully. We don't do it ugly. Um, we always, do it as professionals, because that's what's the most important, is to be professional about it, because we also don't want to ruin any relationship, because it is important to have a relationship with the police if you can get one. So you don't want to do
Yeah.
that, but you just want to be able to say, hey, as concerned citizens, we would like to know why this is being told to people.
Only Van made a good point there. If they say that, you just ask them, now, wait a minute. Now, if your mother is missing, does she have to wait 72 hours?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I am sorry they told you that, or that family that. Um, and I know it's really hard getting between the tribal police, the FBI, then you have the city or a county or a sheriff's. I mean, I tell you, it's like you're juggling, balls or something in
There's
the
too
air
many
trying to catch 'em.
entities involved,
Yeah.
I mean, they need to fix that. They really do. But we won't
Yeah.
hold our breath. We
Yeah.
won't do that. But talking more about going into court, what things have you found helpful when you're in the courtroom with people?
Well, there's a whole process to it before we actually get into the courtroom. We sit down and we visit with the state's attorney and the detectives, depending on what case it is. Or either we sit down and we visit with the attorney themselves. But every situation is different.
Okay.
And basically, I feel like the advocates that are there, supposed to be there for the families, they really aren't too interested in concerning. I mean, they're there to take note and to support. And if you need any help with any resources. But I mean, you know, like the fact that the family is grieving, they just lost somebody, and
Right.
the advocates there really don't know how to assist the families. Besides just saying, "Oh, well, here's a brochure for counseling, or here's a brochure for, you know, how to handle grief and how to go through the steps of grief," you know, and it's just like,
So that's the advocates for the family
yeah,
that are doing they're
Yeah, that the court gives
basically
them.
all the court assigns them. Is that what it
yeah,
is?
Yeah, if
yeah,
you've lost a loved one, you usually get an advocate from
And
the
obviously they're like on, day 2 of their job or what?
yeah. And
Well,
I,
if I can say something here,
Yep.
Sure.
the problem we have now is that, and I think this is for everything and not just the Department of Justice. Nobody knows how to do their jobs anymore.
True.
You
Yes.
have
I agree
advocates
with that.
that don't know how to advocate. You got judges that don't know how to decide. You know, and politics is poisoning everything. And the basic need for people that know right from wrong. So when you have a family that comes in, back in my day, a victim services advocate would sit down with one or more members of that family and they would say, "These are the services we have to offer you." And they would say, like, you know, they could help them with lost wages. So, like, if they're going to therapy, you know, over the lost loved one, if they need hotels, okay, um, even for Ciska on a personal level, um, when someone, you know, dies by violence or whatever, the requirements are for victim services. Like when one of her relatives came home for a murder case, victim services says, "Oh, well, we don't have any resources." Well, then what the hell good are you?
Yeah.
Uh,
If you can't provide a hotel room so that they can seek justice or lay their loved one to rest, what good are you? If you can't help them get back to the, you know, the res that they're from, and people will say, "Well, why don't you just get cremated and then take them?" Well, what people don't understand is back when they did the uh Indian Relocation and Reorganization Self-Determination Act, and they started shipping all these Indians off into major port cities like we were immigrants in our own country.
mhm.
Yeah.
Now these people have lived out there, and you know, like if you read the book Yellowbird, it says in there, when people come
Mhm.
home, they come home to die,
Yeah.
because we're still trying to recover from the Relocation Act. So now we got our relatives way out in these major port cities because they're still there. And now you're telling us how to bury our loved ones.
Yeah.
What kind of victim services is that if you tell this family you have no financial resources? So where did those financial resources go? Or are you already using your own discretion of who's worthy of accessing those resources and who isn't?
That's a good point. I agree with you on that. And I know for one thing, not everybody believes in cremation.
Yeah.
I mean, some do, some don't. So to tell people, "Oh, just get them cremated," that you can't do that. You don't know what somebody's culture or what their belief is or how they feel about that, you know? So that's not
I
the
think
answer.
I think victim services and reparations kind of go hand in hand, especially with Native people, and for them to consider us, you know, like for us to get through this era of boarding school era, of the relocation era, I think this country has a duty to get them back to their homelands.
Yeah.
You don't just take someone and abandon them way out there. And yeah, they did become adults. They did, you know, retransplant themselves into this location, but home is here. This is
Yeah.
where people are from and they need to come home. So that's the new dilemma that we're having, you know. And how do you hold these people accountable when they say that they're here to do all this? Here, you can go to counseling at this location. Okay, well, you have people that are way under the poverty level. How are they going to get there?
Yeah.
Who's going to assist in that transportation? Oh, you're way out on the res, so that's not our service area. But this is a federal crime.
Yeah. That's
So how do you justify that? You know what I mean? So the accessibility to these true victim services, and don't get me wrong, every once in a while we do run into good advocates. But for the most part, we've had to do it on our own.
yeah.
And Ciska's been she's in a major hotspot. There's a US hotspot for missing Indigenous people, and she's just one person. There's
Exactly.
there's actually programs out there that have $1 million funds, and they're raising money. And where's it going? Because we don't see them on these searches. We don't see them knocking on the same doors we're knocking on. And so where did all this money go? And
Yeah.
then they are very free-willed to grab the phone or throw a text to one of us and say, hey, this person's missing or presumed dead or whatever, can you look into it? But you guys are the ones with all the funds,
Exactly.
and you guys have been writing on this trending topic for how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And yeah, this is where we're at.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point.
95% chance that a lot of those funds are going to line somebody's pocket, not going
Exactly.
where they need to go.
Right.
So we need to start getting accountability on where
Yeah.
are these funds, who
Yep.
are
Yeah.
getting the funds. Um, that's like a whole nother thing we get to look into to find out, you know, and what groups. I know Pammy's daughter Whitney is with the does has advocacy con. Um, and I know Whitney and I are supposed to talk. I'm going to ask her about that when I talk to her because she'd sent me an email. So we're going to try and get together. I'm going to find out what kind of programs that they might know of that would have any funds out there. I mean, anything we can come up with um, for people to look at to say this could help us. This could bring some answers because I think that's important. And
And so, like with a lot of this work too now, so we're talking about basic missing, murdered, and exploited Indigenous people. But to be clear now, I have had many cases, and even Ciska herself has had a case where we have served families, lots of families who aren't Indigenous. So, a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, but you're the missing and murdered." No, no. I mean, Cisco was successful in locating a young man who was having some troubles, and he was located deceased, and Cisco did that on her own. And like it's hard to the point I'm trying to make is, like, everybody's on this whole trending topic. Everybody wants to be the hero, but when it comes down to doing the real work, like Cisca's one of the proteges that has really excelled in that category because she has gone the extra mile. She has seen these families from beginning to end. Um, and what would happen? I mean, we only need a few success stories, really, and she's getting to the end of a populace here, and that's important because all this time advocates that were doing this on their own, there was plenty of times where we weren't well received by law enforcement.
yeah,
We were seen as a threat, not a resource. You know, instead of asking us for our information that we literally, you know, pounded the pavement for, walked through the prairies, you know, for days on end. And, you know, they want the information, but they don't want, you know, they see us as a threat for some reason. And there's been times where law enforcement has actually stopped what they're doing and looked us up. Like, why?
Yeah,
This is not why we're here. So
exactly.
it's been getting better. Like when Ciska first started, you know, they didn't seem like they were too receptive, but now, you know, I think we've proven ourselves that, hey, you know, there's some good work over here. Um but yeah, it seems that with law enforcement a lot of it is ego.
Yeah.
And
That's what Ken just
that,
said. He said
that's
ego
is big
the
and
time.
he said
yeah,
ego and law enforcement is the dynamic duo.
Yep.
it is. And so once we can get past that, you know, it seems like everything's, you know, really works well after that. But especially, you know, you're talking I hate to make it sound like this, but this is how it is. You have, you know, like say me and her together, we're looking for somebody. You got two Indian women,
Okay.
and then you got two white guys in badges. They assume we have no education. They assume we don't know what we're talking about. They assume a lot.
Well,
And you know what happens when you assume?
then Barney Fife should take a replay and sit down and shut up and listen.
And so, yeah, and and the gift that we've had to learn is how to manipulate that threat into, um, you know, like basically taking the feralness out of them, taming them down, and saying, let's work this together. And it's okay. You can have all the accolades. We don't care about that. We want these people to be brought home. We've connected emotionally and spiritually to these families. We feel their loss. We feel their pain. We feel the grief. And sometimes when you don't even have that free pass to experience loss and grief because you don't know,
Yeah.
well, you know, and that's the bittersweet part of what we do is we can deliver that. We've proven
Yeah.
that.
Well, and that's like I was telling Ciska as it's a situation where like with us, we're going to send out some emails, but and I told everyone to be respectful because yes, we want to call them on it, but we want to do it respectfully because whatever relationship you've built, we don't want to ruin that either. So, going in all blustery and being ugly, that gets you nowhere. Being an advocate, sometimes you just have to be polite and say, hey, as a concerned citizen, someone has told these poor people this, and we know that's not true. Why would that happen? And then make
Well,
them say, hey, yeah, you're right. It's not true.
yeah. So this is and this is the connecting point of indigenous people and their very resourceful, connected white allies.
Yeah.
Let them go ask, because then that's also a receipt, because now you have a witness, because they're going to have
Yep.
to answer to somebody. And so, you know, thank you for that, because that's one of the things that I talk about a lot in my presentations is there are still a lot of people out here that are not willing to listen to, like for me, an older Native woman and a younger Native woman about any case, because what do we know?
Yeah.
And and that's just all from face value, you know, and they're not, they've already put it in their own mind what our worth was to them, you know what I mean?
Well,
And that's also part of the dynamic of missing and murdered, is those facades that people believe, you know, of a person's worthiness, you know, and the
yes.
same goes for us in our work.
Well, and I remember the case you did with Olivia Lone Bear, where when you couldn't get the police to listen, you had your white friend call the police
I did.
because they
I
wouldn't
did.
listen to you. So it's like, hey, here's the phone, you try.
You know, they kept saying the minute I said my last name, the minute they heard Yellowbird, they just said, "Oh, well, you have to go to the tribal people." And I said, "Nope, nope, nope, no, 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 it's not going to work that way. I'm going to tell you the story, and you're going to file it under my white girlfriend, my go-to white girlfriend, Jemima Hepner." That creativity and being able to present that in a pleasing way where somebody wants to listen.
Well, like I've told you, Lissa, and I will tell Ciska also, we're here as a group. Uh, we will do whatever we can to help anytime you guys reach out and there's something we can do. I am working on making different connections throughout the United States with different tribes. I know one thing I learned recently, and it made sense to me, is that on a lot of the missing posters for the indigenous people, they just put Native American or Alaskan Native. That's wrong. They need to put the tribe. They
Yeah,
need to correctly identify them because that could help in finding them.
right.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
that
and we can't forget that also that there's a lot of indigenous people that belong to more than one tribe. That's when you
yeah.
start getting into this forced colonization,
Oh yeah.
system, is because we are only allowed to claim one.
Well, I'm sorry if you belong to a couple, you just put it on there. I mean,
Right.
because you don't know where someone has relatives. So that could open up another search area. If you look and you're saying, oh, okay, well, and if they were headed to this city, well, I know where they're, people that are belonging to that tribe. So maybe that's where I need to send somebody to go ask questions. I
Yeah.
mean, it just seems logical that this is what you would do, that you
Yep.
would find people that would know them. Well, you might not know who they know if you just give them some blank, you know, title saying they're native or Alaskan, and it's like, no, they have proper names. Not that I can
Yeah.
Yeah.
pronounce half of them because as we see with Siska's poor name and the way I have tortured her tonight, um,
Okay.
I
I wanted
try.
to mention the man that me and one of my other helpers, we found Zachary Wayne Morgan Wilson
Mhm.
on November 19th, 2024. I just want to say rest in peace to him.
Oh,
Hmm.
definitely, definitely.
And I'm in a
They is
bookstore and they're going to be closing here in 10 minutes. But
okay. Well,
Okay.
I mean, I could take it outside, but I could do
whatever
that, I guess.
whatever you feel comfortable with.
Okay.
Because we're enjoying talking with you. And I mean, you and Lissa, the two of you can come back separately together anytime. Um, we are going to, Ciska gave me 5 different people that she personally is looking for. And these are some of her cases that are dear to her heart that we try and help by being alert.
Well, there's a picture of Hulk. I had to get that
Yes.
in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Siska's dog, Hulk. He's a pretty boy.
Yeah.
She doesn't have she hasn't got her dogs like Lissa yet, but she said that is a goal. She wants to get some trained dogs, but hey, Hulk was pretty.
Yeah.
So, real quickly, I just want to tell everybody, remember, I want you to take a moment when we look at these faces that we're going to share with you, commit them to memory when you're out in the community, if you're grocery shopping, going to the store, the gas station, walking down the street, or you're on some kind of mass transit, planes, buses, put the phone down. Watch your surroundings and the people around you. Make sure, even if someone voluntarily left, they might not have meant to stay away and they might be in danger. They might need help. So be aware of these people that are out there. If you see something that looks sketchy, contact the authorities and don't think someone else is doing it. Do it. So the first person that Ciska gave us was Verdell James Brown. Now, there's two people that are missing. Verdell is James Brown Bowles Sr. Was 51. He disappeared. It was 4 years ago, so he'd be 55 now. He disappeared in Rapid City, South Dakota on May 3rd, 2021. He's a member of the Ogalala Sioux. He's missing with Susan Fast Eagle, who has been also missing since the same time. They were last seen at the Rapid City area in Memorial Park. He has gray hair, brown eyes. He weighs 200 pounds, 5'8". Thankfully, they gave him a NamUs number, so someone got him in NamUs. M as in Michael, P as in Paul, 83238. Call the Ogalala Sioux Department of Safety at 605-867-5141 with any information, or 911. The next one is Susan Fast Eagle. She was 30, so she'd be 34 now. Disappeared in Rapid City, South Dakota. Also a member of the Ogalala Sioux tribe. She has hazel eyes, brown hair. She's 5'2" and 160 pounds. She has tattoos. She has the insane clown posse, a figure hatchet man on her right forearm, tattoo of the name Melanco on her left arm, I think. Wears eyeglasses. She may go by the name of Chief Eagle. She was last seen at the Memorial Park with Verdell, who has also been missing since May 3rd. Susan's husband said that she felt sick that day. He went to buy food. When he came back, she had disappeared. So her NamUs number, M as in Michael, P as in Paul, 80817. If you've seen her, 605-394-4139, or call 911, people. It's important. Let's see. The next person, Delilah White Dress. Was disappeared at 63. She would be 64. Ciska wanted us to have this up because she said any information that anybody knows about Delilah, because she was an elder in the in the tribe, and they're worried. So Pine Ridge Ogalala Sioux Tribal Police, 605-867-5111. Brown eyes, brown hair, 5'5", 170 pounds. She's known to utilize a wheelchair. So this needs to be found. And then we have our next person is Savannah Standing Bear. She was 21 when she disappeared on March 30th, you guys, from the Rosebud, South Dakota reservation. She was wearing a black sweater, blue jeans, and Nike shoes, and has a tattoo under her eye that says Gala. And she has black hair, brown eyes. She's 5'5", 140 pounds. Did she go to a party, Ciska? Is that where she went? And then she disappeared? Savannah?
But they said that she had she was going to the store.
Oh, she was going to the store. Okay.
Yeah. Her little sister said she
And
had left her house
and
to
then
go to the store and never came home.
and the number for the Rosebud Sioux Tribal Police is 605-856-2282. I know, are they planning on doing another search soon for Savannah?
I'm not sure, but I know I wanted to get out there before it snows.
And that's is for especially for Lissa and, Ciska, they're in an area that, hey, when it snows, that that limits their time that they can find people. So please, let's keep our eye out. Another one, the last one was Larissa.
Mm.
130 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes, and she's a member of the Lakota Indian tribe. She has tattoos of a paw print on her hand and the words Mom, Lisa, and Luda on her body. Larissa has a 2-year-old daughter who would now be 11, who's living with her father's family at the time she disappeared. She was struggling with some substance abuse when she vanished, and contact the Rapid City Police Department at 605-394-4134 or the Ogalala Sioux Tribal Police at 605-867-5111. Remember, it doesn't matter if somebody has an addiction, we don't shame anybody, um, because they don't always disappear willingly. And even if they did, they might disappear willingly and then they get in trouble. So they still need someone looking for them. Um, what else would you guys like to share?
There's so being that I basically help in all different fields of the society. There's one that I have been informed today that there is a group of people that are targeting our homeless people here in Rapid City
Mm.
and um, getting them and having them go to say, hey, do you want to come to a party? Once they get to the party, they assault them.
Oh my goodness.
They gang them and rape them, and knowing that they're homeless and they don't have family and nobody's going to listen to them, nobody's going to believe them. They're doing this to them and they're holding them against their will, but letting them go eventually. And they're scared to come forward to
Yeah,
tell the police because they think the police aren't going to care. Plus, they're scared. They're not going to stand up in court and say, hey, yeah, it was that person, because
right.
these people had threatened their lives. So
Well,
that's something that I was dealing with earlier today
oh,
to try to talk to some of the victims and let them know that, I'll be here for them and walk them through with everything and through the court and the police and, try to get justice in some way, but they're scared.
I well, I know recently there's a YouTuber down in Austin, Texas, and he's been going around to the homeless communities. And some of the homeless people are saying that homeless people are disappearing in Houston and Austin. So I think, unfortunately, due to the climate of what's happening in our country right now, people are declaring war on the homeless people. They it oh Ciska, this breaks my heart. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that they're having to go through that. And man, that's just
Yeah, it's pretty intense and it's heartbreaking because they, they're calling upon me, and they hear about me from other friends and stuff, and saying, "Hey, do you work with MMIW?" And, "Hey, can you help us? Do
yeah,
you help in this area?" And it's. I do the best I can to help them and calm them down and pray with them and talk with them, and it's like you want them to stand up for themselves, but then you know that they were threatened with their life. So
Right.
that's what's holding them back is, you know, they were threatened. If you come forward, you tell the police we're gonna kill you. You know.
Yeah. Well, and that happens even in the sex trafficking. They threaten them, but not only them, they threaten their
Hmm.
family members if they know their family. So sometimes that's why they stay and put up with, the ugliness is because they have been threatened and their family's been threatened. So that's understandable. Um,
Yeah.
if you need some help, let us know. We'll put the word out to different areas and see if we can find out if they're also having the issue, what they're doing, you know,
Yeah.
what they're doing to help people. Um, and like I've told everybody, if you're ever on vacation somewhere where you know there's a search going on, please join it. Even if you can only do it for a few hours, be boots on
Yeah.
the ground. Um, help people like Ciska and Lissa. Help them do the work because they need help with boots on the ground too.
Mhm.
Um, Lissa, you have any last words you want to say, darling?
No, I think you guys did a pretty good job.
Did we do okay?
You did all right.
Well,
I think we should probably come back sometime and go over like what to do if your loved one goes missing.
okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
please. We'll get more organized so we can do that and do it step by step. That this is the best way to handle it. And
And to tell you the truth, that would be Ciska could tell you that, and then maybe she could bring on one of the other mentees.
Yeah.
Just have to meet the whole damn family now.
Yeah.
well, why not? I adopted you. I'll adopt the rest of them. I love everybody. We want to be a resource. I've been talking to some of the group from the Medicine Wheel Ride. I
Oh,
I've talked to people here in Texas with MMIW Texas Remate, other advocacy groups asking what they do. I mean, COLA, Shipping Tower, any advocate I can talk to, I want to know what they do and what they can help with.
let us know too.
I will.
And that's no, without a doubt.
I will definitely
Yeah.
see what they can do to assist you guys because that's what it's all about. We're supposed to be helping each other.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can get that done. Um, but I thank both of you so much for coming tonight. Uh, and to my group, you guys are rock stars. I have the best moderators on the channels. And so remember, you guys, every killer relies on your silence. Don't be why we share other stories on the channel. If you know something, you speak up because it's
Yes.
never a mannequin. It never is. When people say, I thought it was a mannequin. Behind every case, there are real people with real families that are hurting. They just want answers. And your voices could be key to something that brings them home. Remember, our hashtag is silence is betrayal for the Indigenous families still searching, still waiting, fighting for justice. You're not forgotten. Your loved ones matter to us. Their stories matter. We have a platform here. If you want to come on and tell your family's your loved one's story or your story, we're open to that. Whatever we can do to help. So you guys all next time stay informed, stay compassionate, don't stop seeking justice. We have a Discord server. I will put in the information as soon as I get some emails so we can email up there in Rapid City, South Dakota, and find out why they're being told things that are not true.
Yeah. Why
Um,
that's the new law.
because I think it's
Yeah.
important. And if you or Lissa has somebody that wants to come on and tell the story, that's fine. If they don't, that whatever works, we're here to support you guys and do what we can.
We
So,
appreciate that very much as well. Thank you.
oh, I found your person, I think, that you asked me about. I'll get with you on that. She's in Wyoming. So, um, but I love y'all, and I love Lissa
Yeah.
and our new friend Ciska. I'm gonna get it right before
Thank
pretty,
you.
pretty soon. I'm gonna be calling the poor girl. I just keep trying to get it in my head because I kept thinking the Cisco kid. That's an old
Yeah.
Western. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful name, but
Thank you.
I mess things up. So after we go out tonight, remember, I'm going to be playing my song that I wrote for Lissa. So if you want to listen, you can listen. Love you guys. Good
All
night,
right. Thank
truth
you.
seekers. Ciao.
Out on the back end where the oil rigs stand, a woman felt a calling from ancestral land. Before hashtags trending, before voices were heard, she walked Mother Earth searching alone. The spirit spoke softly in a prison cell and said, listen now, daughter, we have stories to tell. When the world turned away from the missing and lost, she counted the prayers, never counted the cost. She was searching before MMIW became a name, walking sacred ground through the heartache and pain. When families were crying and no one would hear, Lissa was there. She would not turn away before MMIW. She answered the call, bringing hope to families day after day. Through broken places to a spiritual light, guided by elders through the darkest of nights. Elders' wisdom and grandmother's song showed her the path where her heart belonged. Ford birth, old daughter with a Spanish soul, trading her dreams to mend broken hearts whole. Every son and daughter, she'll search until the end. Through decades of heartache, she refuses to bend. She was searching before MMIW became a name, walking sacred ground through the heartache and pain. When families were crying and no one would hear, Lissa was there. She would not turn away before MMIW. She answered the call, bringing hope to families day after day. Lissa Yellowbird Chase is on the chase, looking for those no one else will. You don't get rich, but it cleanses your soul. Years keep turning, but she never slows down. 24/7, she's searching around. Every thank you heals what was broken before. She was searching before MMIW became a name, walking sacred ground through heartache and pain. When the world wasn't watching and justice seemed far away, Lissa kept seeking, answering the call. Indian country knows her name. She answers the call. When someone is missing, she'll search for them all, searching for the lost ones, always searching. She walks with her dogs and the spirit of the wind. Lissa Yellowbird, where one story ends, another begins.